Hello YouTube, my name is Paul, hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to a competition video. I know, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 years since I made my last one, to be fair. So I thought I'd reintroduce it back to the channel because to be fair, I've not really spent a lot of time on YouTube. I certainly don't comment as much as I used to. I think you get to a point where your comments almost feel like they've been cut and paste. There's only so many times you can say great video, great pickup, great about 4,000 times. To be fair, I watch videos but I don't comment as much as I used to. I think you get to a point where you can feel a little bit like, I wouldn't say burnt out, it's not the same as being burnt out, bored I guess. So yeah, I don't watch that many newer channels, but I thought, you know what, start the competition video back up. It's more of a community video than a competition video. It's just nice for someone to leave a comment and put them into my little pot, shake the pot around and pick out a name. And they can treat themselves to something for 20 quid. But yeah, I don't know, it's not, I've become disenfranchised with it, but I think you see a lot of people kind of going off in their own little directions now. I'm always one of those people that's always sort of on the outside looking in rather than the other way around, if that makes sense. I'm quite an independent kind of guy, really. I prefer to be that way. I don't want to get caught up in all the politics and all the crap. Unfortunately, that infests a lot of these channels in the end, which is a shame. But yeah, I will shout out 4 channels. These are 4 channels that probably popped up over the last year, 18 months. Some I watch all the time, some I watch some of the time, but their interests are pretty much in line with my own, around 8-bit micros. And that's another reason I don't really watch a lot of videos, is because a lot of the guys put up content about systems that I'm not really interested in. And likewise, I get it, a lot of people don't really want to watch videos about the Sinclair Spectrum. Kind of understand all that. And like I said before, with the videos, I do them as part of my hobby. That's what it'll always be. I'm never going to be an internet sensation. I'm not a realist. I know all this sort of stuff. So, you know what I mean. So I just keep it real. Sinclair Spectrum, Amiga. I do collect Mega Drive. I do have Mega Drive games, but it's not, I would say, my top passion when it comes to gaming, really. But yeah, so I thought I'd get the old competition back up. And I thought the question I'd ask this month is around your own gaming journeys, really. Where did it start? And kind of where did it end up, and what kind of influenced you along the way? I know a lot of the influences would be money, for definite, especially in the 80s, in the 90s, especially the ages we were then as well. It would have, money would have influenced big time what you bought in terms of systems. I mean, sometimes you would have played a system, really liked that system, then played another one and changed your mind, which is kind of what I did a few times, to be fair. So yeah, so what I'll do first is I will shout out a few channels. So first up, I've got Stu's Retro Reviews. I do believe his name is Paul. Now, he's popped up a couple of times in the comments, left a nice comment here and there, as you do. So I thought, give him a shout out. But again, as per usual, whoever leaves a comment will get a shout out if I've never shouted them out before. If that makes sense. So yeah, Stu's Retro Reviews, again, predominantly does exactly what his channel describes, really. He does reviews of predominantly 8-bit micro games, which is again right up my street. I'm not a particular fan of gameplay videos, but I do like to watch gameplay videos, especially around a game that has some nostalgia to me, or is a game I might be interested in because it's quite obscure. He also does other videos as well besides those, but predominantly his bread and butter is review videos.
Batman Arkham Knight. Absolutely amazing game. I had a bit of a dodgy start when I first arrived on the PC, but I tell you what, I think I downloaded it, put it on, and it wasn't playing very well. The frame rate was really dodgy, so I left it in my account.
Then we got retrogamer.co.uk. Now Jace has just started putting up videos over the past few months. Again, primarily around what he's put up in his shop. That seems to be, again, his bread and butter videos. But he has done some focus videos on some wonderful, obscure Japanese systems. Very bubbly character, a bit like Paul, really. Stu's Retro Reviews, all bubbly characters. Kind of in the same vein as someone like the Retro Bear, his humour. But yeah, he's been around for a little while now. I think they're Yeah, the shop I've used many times, retrogames.co.uk. I've used them many times to pick up some nice obscure titles over the years. I think it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, independent retro game shop, especially in the UK. But his website does say the world, which is not a surprise because it's been set up probably since the late 90s. So yeah, go and check out Jace's channel. Then we've got
What's new at Retro Games this week? Yeah! Never gets old. And what a week it's been. We've had some exciting stuff on the site. And what we're going to start with, let's start with the old favourite, Nintendo 64. Come on, N64 fans. You know it's the best console ever made. And I'm with you on that.
Then we've got Retro or Bust. This is a chap I've met before at Blackpool last year. This is Rob. Again, very much like myself, he does enjoy the 8-bit micros. Not only that though, he does videos on other retro related items. So for example, Star Wars toys, his arcade cabinets, his 1-up cabinets, and other things as well, like Frosty, little Frosty drinks he used to make with that Frosty snowman contraption thing. So he does videos around sort of varied different things really, which is quite interesting. Got one recently that I completely forgot they existed, and that's those McDonald's pens. I forgot all about those. So it's lovely to see stuff like that, and it jogs the memory, because boy, did I used to have them myself, but I can't remember. I couldn't remember for the life of me what they were until I saw that. I should say I just forgot about them. Yes, it's easier.
So, who remembers these things? So these were pens that were given away in McDonald's restaurants in the early 80s, and you got a different pen each week, and I didn't get the first one.
The last one on my list I've got at the moment is Retro Import Gamer. Again, it's not necessarily 8-bit orientated. He's somebody that just certainly likes to collect for the Sinclair Spectrum, but I think predominantly his games collection is more console. Wii U, I think, was one of his systems. Sega Saturn was another one, but again, all of the imported variety.
Although it got ported to the Saturn and PlayStation, you know, a couple of years later, when it first appeared on the 3DO, it was just mind-blowing. You know, you were playing on your Mega Drive and even your Super Nintendo, and then you saw this, and it was like something from another world. I'm talking about Road Rash.
But yeah, so 4 guys, 4 channels that I have watched intermittently. I don't watch everything they put out. It depends, again, like I said, on my own personal tastes and interests. And that's kind of how I've gone with YouTube at the moment. If I watch something, it generally has to be something that I'm interested in, because there's so many channels doing so much content. It's just difficult to find the time between working, collecting, playing, other stuff to fit everything in. So I try and be a bit more specific nowadays. I don't have a job, unfortunately, I can sit at a screen or on a phone where I can just watch videos all day. It's not possible what I do. I do wonder sometimes how people get around so much and leave so many comments on so many videos. I think, bloody hell. But yeah. So in terms of the question around about your retro journey, in terms of what machines you had back in the day and what made you choose a different machine. So our first machine as a family machine was the Atari. That was something that I didn't think about buying. That just was bought, and that was the beginning of my fascination or love for video games, really. Playing those old games like Vanguard, Miss Pac-Man and Combat. And it wasn't until some years later that I got a machine of my own, probably about 4 years after we had the Atari, to be fair. And in that time I probably played on a few machines like a Video Pack. I played on a Commodore 64, Sinclair Spectrum. So at any point during that time I could have not had, but would have wanted any of those machines, because anything at that time seemed like great fun. And then one year in particular, I used to stay with my auntie and my cousins and play on the Sinclair Spectrum. I think that would have been about 1986, and my love for then Manic Miner and games like Nightmare Park, which incidentally seems to be an impossible game to find again. I don't know, some other games they had like Jetpack, Cookie. They had quite a few old games even for 1986, but I loved them nonetheless. Rambo First Blood. So that really influenced me in wanting to get a Spectrum that year, which thankfully I got one for Christmas, a Sinclair ZX Spectrum 48K Plus. So I was really chuffed to get that. Then the next machine would have been the 128K Plus, which was the natural progression really, because games got bigger, demanded more RAM, had better music. So I literally sold the 48K, put the money towards the 128K, and there we go. And then the next machine, ideally, in the perfect world, I would have wanted a Commodore Amiga. But like I said before, impatient old me, couldn't wait for that. So I went for the Atari ST instead, £100 cheaper. The games generally were £5 cheaper. At the time, games were just ported from the ST to the Amiga anyway. So it was no great loss in that respect. But I worked for that the whole summer of 1989, a little Saturday job I had, saved the money up to buy my Atari ST. But in between saving up and getting the ST, I bought myself some ST games. So if I hadn't bought those games, I could have bought myself the bloody Amiga. So yeah, but the ST though fit in nicely with the Spectrum. You had the same sound chip, you had the same issues with colour, not necessarily colour clash, but sprite detection. Jerky graphics, it had no hardware, did it? Graphical hardware on the ST, so it was very much a natural progression for an Amstrad or a Spectrum owner to go to, was the ST. But yeah, I would have loved the Amiga. Then the following year I sold the ST, wasn't at all sure what I wanted at that point, back in the 1990. I thought about an Amstrad 6128 Plus, GX4000 crossed my mind. Again, natural progression would have been the Atari STE, but read those incompatibility issues. And that was with some of the games I really loved on my ST. And then finally I settled on the Sega Mega Drive, but not knowing at the time, the back end of 1990, the games were so bloody expensive. I couldn't afford a £45 game. There was no way. And then you leave school, discover other things in life which kind of take you away from the gaming scene altogether. It wasn't until 1992 that I got an Amiga, finally got a Commodore Amiga. My heart was set on one as soon as I knew I wanted to get back into gaming. The Amiga was for me. I was in full-time work at the time. So I picked up an A692, a 1293, which was a fantastic machine. Unfortunately, it was like literally at the end of Commodore's life, so they couldn't really do a lot with it. PlayStation in 95, that was a phenomenal leap. And again, the PlayStation, as soon as I saw the graphics for some of the games, and because of the variety of games coming out for the PlayStation was much bigger than a Saturn, my heart was set on the PlayStation. So I picked up one of those. And then a couple of years later, I think my PlayStation actually died because the laser went on it. Went for the PC, and the PC pretty much is where I am today. I don't play a lot of PC games. I don't play a lot of games full stop at the moment. But the PC from say 97 to now has been not the same machine obviously because it's evolved over the years. But coinciding with the PC, I've always gone with the PlayStation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I am really. I had the odd console that I bought from the shop brand new, like the Xbox and the GameCube, but for me personally, they never kind of captivated my attention or imagination really, because again I had the PC and that was where my main gaming resided. So yeah, I don't know, is that a kind of natural progression route you would think, or did I go off the beaten track a little bit? I don't think I did. I think my natural progression was quite, yeah, linear really. I didn't kind of go off on all different tangents. But yeah, so looking back now, it probably was the natural progression for me to go through the systems that I went through. Yeah, so what was your journey? Be interested to know. Leave in the comments box below. As per usual, end of September, I'll draw the names out of a plastic container. Whoever wins, first name out of the container, or the only name out of the container in fact, will win 20 quid. So yeah, I'm pleased this video's back, to be fair. It'd be nice to kind of integrate myself back into YouTube society in some way, shape or form, because I've kind of been a bit absent really. I do like to put out some varied videos of different descriptions. But yeah, like I say, it'd probably be better in the future even if you ask me a question about what I would like to describe about my gaming journey or anything like that in the next competition video, because at least I can ask the same question, answer the same question for the guys that watch really. So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you very much for putting up with me and subscribing to my channel. Hope to see you guys again real soon. Take care and bye for now.